Hey everyone, my name is Nella Brodette. I was fortunate to be part of the very first varsity women's hockey team at Ryerson back in 2011 to 2014, and I served as the women's hockey captain for 2 of those years. I'm also really excited to be here today because I helped sort of create the story of what Rams Talk is and excited to share that more with you. So, why I thought starting something like Rams Talk would be really important, the first initial thing was it wasn't actually an award. It was more about just creating awareness of mental health and, other sort of mental illnesses that come with being human, let alone being a student athlete. And for myself, I actually had gone through quite a journey with this and struggled with it for a long time. I was actually a mature student coming into Ryerson. I had already competed in the States for women's hockey and went to university there. Had then had to fly back to Canada, figure out how would I serve my gap year at the time while still playing hockey in elite sport, and figuring out my career and my academic journey as well. And with that came a lot of challenges. As you can imagine, everybody sort of feels different. And when I did focus on myself, I started to see a lot of things I didn't like. I was struggling financially. I was struggling maybe with some friends or family problems. School was quite difficult as well sometimes. And along with that, you're trying to win. At that time, we were unfortunately, we were very new to the league, so we were last place. And you have this responsibility of trying to keep motivation with 20 some other girls and amazing people on your team. I'm very fortunate that I am self-aware and had the ability to come forward and start to realize something's wrong here, right? There was a reclusive time where I didn't go to practice. I would stay in bed. I would look at the clock. I would turn off my alarm and just not even exit my room. And my roommate at the time would come in and check and say, today's the day, Nella, it's time to go. And that was really interesting for me because I started realizing some great things that were helping me. And one of those was obviously having an amazing group of people around you that knew something was up. We still didn't talk about it because still was quite taboo at the time. But then I was like, oh wow, look, I got out of bed. I brushed my teeth today. Maybe I went back into my bed, but you know what? I showered, and that was a win. So smaller wins just kind of helped me realize like, hey, you can get out of this, and this is something that maybe you should address differently than how you have been before. So with that, again, a good sense of community has been so important, and this is something that Ryerson and especially the athletic department really showed me. Again, I was fortunate enough to be able to have a platform and amazing people to let me get on a stage to talk about something. And at that time, on a whim, I decided to share my journey with depression as it was currently going on. I was very scared and obviously embarrassed and very hesitant about it. So many people that I didn't know actually reached out. And, obviously my closest friends are going to be there for me, but then strangers and then other students, other student athletes, coaches, teachers, were really there for me. And that's what Rams Talk is for. That was to showcase like no matter what you're going through, someone else is probably in the similar boat as you, and you shouldn't feel the need to be silenced about it. I think with something like Rams Talk, it was really supposed to instill this culture that everything is okay to talk about. It's okay if you don't want to talk about it. It's okay if you want to share your feelings in a different way that's safe and healthy. But at least to just destigmatize this conversation. And the award really kind of spun out because of that. It was, oh my gosh, we had this amazing uptake. And I remember those years of just feeling, wow, like we've really accomplished something. And other universities were jumping on board. Students across the country were calling me being like, how do we do this at our school? And that momentum really shifted because it was like, I'm only going to be here for a few years. Like, what does this look like moving forward? And I think the award is really to help address some of those challenges. And one of those I had mentioned was, finances. As a student athlete, you're not getting paid for what you do, but you dedicate your whole life to it, and you're expected to show up. When I look back at the inception of Rams Talk in 2014, it truly wasn't about, let's raise money for an award. It was about raising awareness and starting this conversation together. So when I think about where we are today and how it has spun out into this amazing award that, we had a generous donation from the Brookfield Institute for Innovation Entrepreneurship to help students relieve some of that financial stress if you are going through some of these sort of mental challenges and sort of feelings. I just think it's a growth period for us, and it's something that now we're able to destigmatize the conversation, and now folks can actually come forward and not feel ashamed to share their story if it's with one person or two, and now receive financial bursary for it. So in the beginning, it was just really about like, I need to share my feelings. I feel alone and someone needs to hear me. And it was almost this cry for help on my end personally, but turned into, wow, when we say Rams Talk, Rams are talking, and we want everybody to come forward with their stories or with how they're supporting other people or resources and not feel ashamed or embarrassed. I think that to show that Ryerson and the Rams community is here to lift those people up and champion them is really important. So I'm so happy that the award started. I'm just excited that Rams Talk even existed for myself. It saved my life. And so I'm really glad that I've seen others go through that journey as well, or hopefully have. And I just think that moving forward, this shouldn't be something that we now just kind of put on the back burner because it is a little bit more mainstream. I think it's something that we double down on and we really showcase we are here for each other, and we are here. Mental health is number one. Physical can always come, right? But if you're broken inside and you truly cannot function, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be, an Olympian, you could be Simone Biles, but you still can't show up for your match. So if you are considering donating money into a cause, this is so important because now more than ever, there are so many pressures put on us. We're trying to get through a pandemic right now where all of these student athletes have put pause on their sport and are trying to figure out, what does this look like? What do my Olympic dreams look like moving forward? Can I train? Why did I go to school? I went to school to play hockey, and found my passion afterwards through the journey of being a student athlete. So come together, let's bring some money forward because someone out there really needs your help. And, the community that I went through at Ryerson saved my life. And that's something that you can contribute to as a donor. And I feel that now's the time. Let's get it going, and let's get these amazing athletes and students safe resources, security, and something to continue to work forward towards without some of the stress that they're receiving right now. When I got the call, a few days ago about, hey, this award is still going on. We're really going to now move it forward, and it's becoming a forefront of conversation again. That is so rewarding to me. It makes me feel very emotional and happy that something like this is continuing on and is still important in the values of Ryerson. And that I was able to play some part of it. People say like you created this thing, but for me, really, it was the support of the community that created it. I just am fortunate, like I said, to be able to come forward and tell my story, and more fortunate that there were so many arms to embrace it. So it makes me quite emotional in thinking about all these continuing students and prospects coming into the community, and the fact that they do or will have someone to listen to them is amazing. So I'm very grateful for it.